What's going on, everybody? Jeff here. Welcome back to the channel. The W is starting to form on the SPY daily chart. In this video, I want to go over some key important levels for you to look at going next. I'm also going to share with you a chart that I saw over this weekend that really states where the mass is looking for the market to go. And if you've been around for the market for some period of times, a lot of times when people all think one direction, is when something can happen on the blind side and you get caught off guard. So I'm gonna break everything down for you in this video. Let's get right into it. Today, like I said, was a chop fest. You have the Russian-Ukraine tensions pulling the market down over the weekend, as you saw the massive sell-off we had on Friday. Then there was some news release saying that there was no plans on invasion. Market popped up. A little bit of a sell-off, but began to, slowly grind to the upside on low volume. Then the Ukrainian president decided to put out a little bit of information that kind of spooked the markets, and he feels like they were misinterpreted. Just goes to show that you really need to be privy on this information. But let's take a look at that daily chart, which I had said to everybody, that W formation. I had started to call this out about 2 weeks ago by saying, look at the patterns ahead of you. It's the only thing that we can tell of what's going to happen to the right by looking at what happens to the left. Obviously, news trumps this a little bit, but like I said, a lot of times this plays out. You can see another W that happened right here. We are starting to feel that formation. We do have a lot of support, and there was some serious buying pressure. All right, and all between that 425 and 430 level, you can see all these long wicks on the SPY. But let's get into the chart. I want to talk to you about this. Was shared on Twitter, and I took a look at this, and it really got me thinking. So lately, okay, even before all of this happened at the beginning of 2022, you saw numerous, I think I even made a video at the end of 2021, but numerous YouTube thumbnails and headline articles, market crash, market crash, market crash. And these articles come out, it seems like every month, no matter what. It's been coming out for the last 10 years, even before that, but market crash, market crash. And eventually they're going to be right. Okay. You can swing and a miss, 1,000 times. Like eventually you're going to connect and you're going to be right. However, it always seems like when the mass tends to move in one direction, that's when you get the real big pull. And this chart put it, or, really played it beautifully. And the reason being is because you've seen people slowly start to change after that 480 pullback on the SPY, YOLOing into puts and going puts. And, they're going to raise interest rates and the market's going to go down and the real estate's going to crash. And it's just like, you have to think to yourself, if it was that easy, we all would, have an amazing batting average when it came to the market. And as you know, it's not that easy. Okay. And so a lot of times, not all the times, all right, when the mass is all looking in one direction, that's when the pull happens behind you. And you can see right here, this is a chart that shows the net put value traded as a percentage of market caps, which means a lot of people are going into puts. Now, these are also short traded, short-term and long-term trades, but you can see back in 2011 and after the coronavirus pull, it wasn't before, okay? It wasn't even at the bottom, or it wasn't even at the middle. It was after that initial pop. They wait for that coil to pull down, pop you right back up, and then they get into it. And that's very quickly when those market makers, they see what happens, all right, and they completely pull you in the opposite direction. It's the same thing, okay, back in early 2021 when everybody was buying into NEO and all these stocks, these high growth was a ripping, and these market makers, okay, and big investors, big funds can see all that action happening, and that's when they immediately pull it right from you. All right, there's an old saying that's like, when your barber's talking about it, okay, it's time to leave. And it almost seems like that's what we're seeing right now, but to an opposite direction. Now, I'm not saying either of two things. I'm not saying that we're going to continue to move higher for the next 10 years like we did here, okay, or get up another 20, 30%. And I'm also not saying that we've seen bottom, okay, but I've seen this play out numerous times, all right? And so just be prepared, and being conscious of it coming through, especially because you are seeing that. And if we can hold above that 430 level, a retest getting back up to that above 460. I was calling 459 to 464 as soon as we touched down in that 430 area, and we didn't quite hit that yet. Not to say we're not going to hit that 430 again, but just be very conscious. Okay, the rate hikes everybody's talking about. All right, investors are going to know if that 50 basis point is pretty on target. All right. Now, what did happen today, I think got people a little bit spooked. All right, there was a closed meeting. I just think it's a little bit more publicized. All right, there's no hype around these, but they do happen, more often than not. Pay attention to your fear and greed indicator. Okay, a lot of times we've seen this before. All right, when that needle is just too far over to that red orange, all right, that's when the money starts piling back in, because it just doesn't work when too many people follow the same trend going forward. So keep that in mind. We're going to continue to monitor this as this goes forward. All right, this week we do have the Fed minutes being released on Wednesday. And until things ease down a little bit with over in Russia and Ukraine, expect the volatility to continue. Keep an eye on the VIX. All right, this is something that I talk about all the time, and I've learned from actually much more experienced traders, is utilizing these levels. You can see right here, anywhere between that 15 to 18 area is a very comfortable level for investors. We don't last long getting up here, okay? But it does pull back. We are still elevated at a 28 to 32 range like we hit today. Now, last thing to finish this video, all right, I have no idea who this guy is. I will just say that his information comes out very, very quickly. Okay, I told everybody inside the group, to follow him. We put out our notifications, and you'll get notified from some of this information very, very quickly. All right, today we had, we pretty much saw word for word exactly what the Ukrainian president had said, going into the afternoon about what he expects about the February 16th date on when Russia, was going to make their move, which it's not like a dinner reservation. You don't just make a dinner reservation like, right, we're going to come invade you. But like I said, the market reacts. But it's nice to be able to be here, have those notifications on, and you could jump right back over and be able to see exactly what happens in the market. And as you can see, as soon as he tweeted that out, it was just boom, it came down. We got right back to that 436 level, which is a very, very strong level of support. So go check them out. Be careful. Make sure you follow this exact individual. There are tons of fakes. So guys, that is it. Be prepared. It'll be exciting, and I'll see you in the next one.